name is Deus, and I'm currently a student at the University of Toronto and Sheridan College for a program called Art and Art History. Interventions that are based on covered up graffiti, which is basically street art that has been painted over by maybe authority figures or those that don't agree with street art. The process of my work is to go downtown Toronto, which is a mecca for street art. You go there, you see graffiti, vandalism, painted, spray painted, postered, anything. It's just, there's graffiti everywhere. You'll see graffiti, but you'll also see these giant blobs of color that have nothing to do with any form of imagery. It's just one abstract block on a wall. You can clearly tell that there used to be graffiti there. They're meant to hide the fact that something's underneath them. But what they're actually doing is they're showing the world that something is underneath them. As humans, we bury bodies under the ground, but it's almost like these people are burying the street art under a new layer of paint. It's something that bothers me because how can you get a color so wrong? But at the same time, I love the fact that they're doing it wrong because it's showing me how many of these things are around all the cities. It just all becomes this almost universal language of, I wouldn't say hate for street art, but there's a clear dislike and disregard for the fact that they're trying to hide something that someone else has done in the name of creativity.
The cool thing about this one is that it's the first one that I ever did, like as I got inspired to do these kind of projects. First intervention that I did on the covered up graffiti, and it's still around. No one has torn it down. The weather has kind of demolished itself and people have even tagged over it. I've done many more after this one that have been torn down days later and even weeks later, so it's pretty cool to see that this one's still up.
It's almost like a timeline of what's been done and then what's going to happen. And you also see new graffiti appearing on top of these covered up pieces. And I really like to think of it almost as a reference to the blank canvas, where these things are being painted over and creating a whole new space. So it's repelling the street artist, but at the same time it's attracting them because of the blank canvas that it's creating and the open space that leaves an endless possibility for new street art to happen.
For me to document covered up graffiti. It's one of the most activated spaces I know. It's right off Queen and Gwyn area. And it's just a spot that people graffiti all the time. It gets painted over, more graffiti happens, gets painted over, and it's just constant cycle that happens with street art and people that don't want it, right? So
what I will do is I'll take a picture of a wall that has been painted over and graffiti was underneath it, and take it to a computer, analyze it, crop it, and create two colors. One is the background and one is the shape that is the painted over graffiti. And then what I do is I print one solid color for the background and one top color for the shape. And I go back to the site where the original photograph was taken, and I then paste up all of my prints in a repetitive manner, similar to an Andy Warhol silkscreen, or to what you would see as advertising downtown Toronto for events or for CD releases or for TV shows, when you see all the posters, the exact same poster lined up in almost a grid pattern. I do the same thing with my prints over top of the covered up graffiti. almost like my way of trying to cover up what was covering up the graffiti in an attempt to activate the space and to draw attention to the space, so that if someone else were to come along and rip off my posters, they end up just revealing the original artwork. The graffiti intervention pieces are going beyond just being an image, because they are becoming a site-specific installation.
It's much more doper.